Good evening and welcome to another vlog with me, George Graham. I've got a new tip for the first round matches tomorrow in the World Championship qualifying. And first and foremost, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to anyone who retweeted, liked, read my written preview for the to qualify market preview. I think it went down pretty well, and hopefully, fingers crossed, there's a few winners. Week Tuesday and Wednesday. The tip that I'm going to be giving tomorrow is just the one tip, and it's a treble. And it only pays with Sky Bet because one of the matches, quite a lot of bookmakers aren't pricing it up. It pays 12 to 5 with Sky Bet. And firstly, I quite like the look of Chepchar Nu. I wrote in my preview that I think he's got a great chance of qualifying this week. He's only about 6 to 5, but he looks to have a very good chance. He opens up tomorrow with a senior pro, a very decent senior pro in Jonathan Bagley. But if Chepchar is on his game, and he turns up in the mood, I can't see him losing this match. It looks on paper a comfortable victory for him, and I'm going for him minus 5.5. I can't see Bagley getting 5 frames there, and the same sort of principle applies for Martin Gould. He plays an unknown African qualifier called Mustafa Dangum or something like that, and I think minus 5.5 just looks pretty straightforward for him. For those two also, I quite like the look of either of them to win 10-0. I think you can get 20 to 1 with Bet365. I think it's about 9 to 1 with Sky Bet for Gould to win 10-0. And as I say, they're a class apart against their opponents. So 20 to 1 on 10-0. I think you can get about 7s-ish for 10-1 as a cover on a Nu. And that looks a half decent bet. And for the treble, which obviously pays 12 to 5, I'm going to throw in Lucas Kleckers at plus 6.5 on the handicap with Sky Bet against Yan Bingtao. And if anyone read my preview, I'm very much against Yan Bingtao this week. I really fancy Peter Ebdon in the section. Bingtao's had a really poor season. He didn't look anything like the player he was last season, and it wouldn't totally surprise me if Kleckers possibly even took out Bingtao. He's about an 8 to 1 shot, and Bingtao is at 1 to 20. It's absolutely ridiculously short for someone who's, as I say, bang out of form. So plus 6.5 means obviously that Kleckers needs 4 frames, and I think he could easily win those 4 frames in the first session of the first 9 frames. So the treble is Kleckers plus 6.5 and Nu and Gould minus 5.5, and that pays 12 to 5 with Sky Bet. I'm now just going to something that sort of griped me over the last day or so, looking at the prices for the World Championship qualifying, and the two that I'm going to be sort of bringing up is about Rory McLeod and Brandon Sargent. They're 2 players I have tipped to qualify. McLeod's in a relatively tricky-ish section. He's going to have to beat obviously David Grace first, and then he'll be playing Lion Wembo to play maybe Gary Wilson or Dominic Dale to qualify. Yet his opponent David Grace, who's obviously going to be a pro next season, he's obviously got through via the Challenge Tour, and he's a 12 to 1 shot. Yet over 3 times the price. His opponent Rory McLeod at 40 to 1, and I just cannot begin to believe how he can be 40-1 in this section. He should, I think it is a standout price with Ladbrokes, a 40-1. But I thought that was absolutely outrageous, and one of the most outrageous prices of all the qualifying this week. And there's actually a bigger and more substantial price that I've tipped up, and it is Brandon Sargent, who's going to be a pro next season, and he's from Stoke, and he actually won the Challenge Tour, where David Grace came second, and he won it quite comfortably. Really, he was about 7 or 8 events to after 7 or 8 events, he had won it, and in the section where Sargent's in this week, he's got Michael Holt to start with to play Higginson or James Cahill, and then it's quite possibly going to be Gudong in the final round. And what is just I can't put into words, how much my eyes popped out when I saw his price, is I cannot understand why. Obviously, it's been trimmed now to 500, but why Sargent was 750-1 to qualify? It's the most nonsense price I've ever seen in bookmaking for me. Okay, he's probably got next to no chance, but this is a player who, as I say, won the Challenge Tour. He didn't come second. He finished above David Grace, and I mean, if David Grace was in the section that Sargent's in, I would say he'd be probably a little bit shorter than he is actually in this section he's actually in. He'd be around about 10-1. Yet Sargent, who, all right, probably, you played Grace, you probably fancy Grace to beat him maybe 6 times out of 10 in a best of 19. But there's no way Brandon Sargent should be 750-1. He has actually trimmed now to 500, and I still think 500-1 is absolutely balmy. He's a very, very decent player. I've actually seen him play. He used to play in the same league as I did in the Staffordshire West Midlands League, and say he can play. And he's got a tough match with Michael Holt tomorrow. But funny things have happened, and to me, I get on very well with Snooker Judge, who does the prices for Ladbrokes. But maybe he knows something different to me. Maybe he thinks or knows that Brandon Sargent's going to be playing blindfolded this week, or he'll play with one leg or one arm, because if I was in the betting for this section, I'd be around about 750-1, and Brandon Sargent would beat me 10-0. So 750-1 was one of the most insane prices I think I've ever seen in betting for a player that next season will be on the main tour. So hopefully there's a bit of liabilities on Ladbrokes' back. At the end of the day, it's a gamble that Snooker Jug has taken, and it's likely to come off for him. He's taken a few quid off a few people, and it is a gamble, but as hopefully, if he gets through the first couple of rounds, and goes to the final round, let's hope he's going to be panicking a little bit, but it could be wishful thinking. But Sargent 500-1. Yeah, you've got to have a little go on that. 50p pound. Yeah, it's one of the. It's the biggest price, obviously, I'm going to be tipping up, but I think he's well worth a little go. And Rory McLeod 40-1, you get a boost on that to 45. Absolutely massive on a player that's qualified for the Crucible 3 times before, and loves this format of best of 19. So that concludes my my little rant, and I'll hopefully be back tomorrow. Maybe a few more bets today. Tomorrow. There's not a lot of value tomorrow, and it's just going to be hopefully some of my my picks can can get through, including Sergeant. So we'll roll on for tomorrow. Thanks very much for listening, and good luck tomorrow. Cheers, bye.